few months ago I made this video here which was all about tips for younger cosplayers, and I got a lot of responses to it, and I mean a lot. So today I want to address the most common responses that I got to this video. And as per the same as the last video, I encourage parents to watch this video as well, either with your child who is interested in cosplaying or by yourself. And if you do have any questions, parents, please reach out to me in my DMs through Instagram. I'm more than happy to have that conversation with you. So without any further ado, let's get into the most common response that I got. I don't want to tell my parents, they're not going to let me do it, or something along those lines. My answer to this is always the same: 10 seconds of courage. Just take 10 seconds to build up your courage and to just say, I want to cosplay. This is what I'm thinking about doing, to your parents. Because what's the worst thing that they're going to say? You actually don't know that your parents' answer is going to be no. More commonly, what happens is it kind of falls into this spectrum. So over here, we have the extreme acceptance, the one that the parent goes, oh, I've never heard of that and I want to do that as well. It's rare, but it does happen. On equally distance away from that, on the other side of the scale, is the no, how dare you ask, you're never allowed to do that. Most commonly, however, it's more here, alright? So you have on this side, acceptance, yep, sure, you can go do it, just make sure you get your homework done. Or on this side, which is, I don't know what that is. And honestly, if any answer is from here to here, there's going to be ways that you can get them across the line, especially if they're over here, because they're already pulling out the sewing machine. Keep in mind that once upon a time, your parents were kids as well, and they had their own hobbies, their own social activities, and they may have been slightly outside of the norm for their time as well. And your parents haven't forgotten that. Trust me, I am an adult and I can honestly say that I remember all of the things that I wanted to do as a child, and especially the ones that I was super passionate about. To the parents, what I say to you is please be open-minded. The fact that you're watching this video says to me that you're already quite open-minded about your child cosplaying. Thank you. Remember, cosplay is a lot more than just dressing up in a costume and prancing about. It has so many skills associated with it, like time management and budgeting, and also creativity and courage, not to mention that it helps with social anxiety. You see, for some cosplayers, using a character in a costume allows them to kind of take on part of that personality and that persona, and then meet other people who are like-minded or have the same interests. It's essentially like the ultimate icebreaker. And as a final note, I'm sure that if you ever thought that your child was hiding something from you because they were scared of your response, that would be absolutely heartbreaking. So please have a go and listen to what it is that they're wanting to achieve by cosplaying and what they're wanting to do, and try and be excited for them. It will honestly mean the world to your child. Response number 2, I told my parents and they won't let me cosplay. And this is usually tied up with the idea that it's a waste of money, or that cosplaying or costuming rather is only for Halloween and for little kids. It's really probably coming from a point that they just don't understand. It's not in their kind of realm of thinking. But here's the thing, it's their house, it's their rules, you have to respect that. However, that doesn't necessarily stop you from cosplaying 100%. Let me explain. Sure, you can't go out and you can't buy a cosplay off the internet and then for it to be shipped to your house, and you might not be able to sew up a cosplay as such. But it doesn't stop you piecing together your clothing from your closet into the look-alike of a particular character. This is called a closet cosplay. It's a very tame type of cosplay, but you will know who you're cosplaying, your friends who are in the know will know who you're cosplaying, but maybe your parents won't. They'll just think that you put an odd pair of shoes with that kind of outfit. Also, over time, show them that you're serious. Point out when watching movies or playing games what costumes are really, really interesting, which ones you would love to learn how they made that. Just bring it up subtly and really make it clear that you are interested in costuming. It will gradually grow to a point of acceptance, even if they don't necessarily understand it. And parents, if you don't approve, all I can say is that this is not just Halloween. And honestly, it's not that weird. See my last point in regards to all the things that are good about cosplay that's not just about putting on a costume. Response number 3. My parents are confused. Great. That's actually pretty, normal, because it is not common for people to wear costumes in public. I mean, superheroes are only in movies. But that's okay. All it means is that your parents have a scope of understanding of what is normal, and this is outside of it. They just don't get it yet. And if they let you pursue cosplay, they will start to understand it once they see how much fun you're having and what you're creating and the photos that you get from conventions and meeting all your friends, that sort of thing. And they're going to be super impressed if you actually make something. And this is where I can say my personal experience comes into play. See, my parents were really confused by it. Why would my adult daughter want to dress up in costumes? Why? You're not going on stage, you're just going to a location with other people who are dressed up. Really? But over time, I developed my skills. I made complex costumes. I made some simple costumes. I made one of my dad's favorite characters, not because of him, but because of the fact that it just happened to be that way. And over time, they have come to accept it. So much so that they're really interested in regards to what my next costume is going to be, and what my latest project is, and how things are going for my YouTube channel. It's actually really, really cute. And parents, it's absolutely okay to be confused. You will get it, or at least you will accept it. I'm still working on my mother though to become Umbridge, because she would be the perfect Umbridge one day. Response number 4. My parents don't like me cosplaying the opposite gender, or wearing makeup, or wearing wigs, etc, etc. Guys, this sucks. Let's talk about the gender side of things first. Unfortunately, once again, their house, their rules. You can't do much about that. Right at this point in your life, you may be questioning your gender identity, and that is absolutely okay. You may very well be ready to experiment. However, your parents just aren't there yet. I'm really sorry if you fall into this very specific category, and I do wish you the very best, and I hope that it resolves itself quickly for you. If you do fall into this category, what I would maybe suggest is try cosplaying characters that are a bit more gender fluid. That way you can play with gender without it being so very much the opposite of what your parents see you as. Okay, now let's talk about the little bit more of the fluffier side of this particular response. Say that you are comfortable with your gender, but the character that you want to cosplay is just the other gender, but your parents are saying, no, you're not allowed to do that. Or you're not allowed to wear makeup because they think you're too young to wear makeup, or they don't want you to wear wigs because you've got beautiful hair. Who knows, okay? Let's talk about that now. What I would say is this: work with what you're allowed and what you've got. You would be amazed what you will find and what you can do with a little bit of creativity. And keep in mind that you do not have to be a cardboard cutout of the character that you're wanting to represent to still be cosplaying. Repeat it after me. I do not have to be a cardboard cutout of that character to be cosplaying that character. And hey, remember, when you get older, you can get a job, and then you can earn money, and with adult money, you can buy your childhood dreams. I say that somewhat flippantly, but it's also true. And parents, If you are someone who says to them you're not allowed to do X, Y, and Z because I don't want you doing that, that's fine, that's your prerogative, but be aware that when they start earning money, that will be the first thing that they buy. And that's their money, they're allowed to do that. And the fifth response, the one that I was asked probably the most commonly, which was, can I cosplay blank character? I don't know. Stop asking me. I'm not the be-all and end-all judge on the matter. What I would suggest instead is that you print out a picture of the character and the costume that you're wanting to cosplay as and show it to your parents, and have your parents make the decision of whether or not they're comfortable with you cosplaying that character. It can get a bit tricky when we are talking about age-appropriate cosplays, but your parents will have your best interests at heart. So please show them, and remember that not all adults are good adults. And adults, if you're watching this, please use your discretion and use it wisely. Alright guys, I hope that answers most of the questions that I would have got from that first video. Thank you so much for watching this. In the comments below, tell me, what is your dream cosplay? Make sure you give us a like and, subscribe if you want more like this, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!